Hi everyone, so today I'm going to continue from the previous topic of chase options. If you haven't seen the video, you can watch it on our channel, but in today's tutorial I actually will show you how to run a chase inside of the CueStack, and also we will actually make it even more interesting. We're going to run a chase inside of the CueStack with a certain amount of repeats. So how to do this? So basically I've created a CueStack that consists of, we can actually renumber them if we need to, that consists of 9 steps. So, and if we want to run them, we've got, we will be able to just run, and this is, in my case, it's just a CueStack, yeah. So I press go, you can see it goes from one step to another. And those 4 steps that I basically copied from this playback too, I will convert into chase. And this chase is going to be actually part of my CueStack, and I'll specify how many times I want the chase inside of the CueStack to loop before continuing with the CueStack. So, hope it's going to be interesting for you, and I'll show you how to do it. So, this is the basic CueStack. I've set some fade time, that's standard, it's nothing new. Okay, so now these steps 4, 5, 6 and 7, I would like to create them, make them as a chase. So first of all, what you need to do is you come into the under the column called timing. For those 4 steps you select them, and you can either press enter, or just if you click here it will bring you an option. It's going to say, would you like to keep it as a queue or chase? We say chase. Fine. So I have it as a chase. Let's test it, and you're gonna see what's happening. So I'm gonna run that first step, second. So as soon as I press third, the third step is gonna say, and the next one will not wait and load in the 4th step. So we go here, and from third to the 4th step, 5th, 6th, 7, and then it waits. It waits for me to press go, see, because it says follow and it's halt, yes. And then I can press go and it goes to the next step. So this is what you're going to get when you just change it to chase. So basically what you did is you just told those 4 steps to follow each other. But then here's the trick. If you would like the chase actually to loop, the thing you need to do is this. The column says next queue here. See, it says next. So by default, next means it will go automatic to the next step, but I don't want to do it. So I need to tell the MagicQ where to jump back to and where the loop starts. So for me, the loop starts on the step number 4. See, this number 4. So I press here and I say my next queue will be number 4. So what it means is, when it will run, it will go to into the chase. Yeah, it goes to that step and goes back to this 4 and continues. Okay, so it's all good, but what we're missing here is I've set some repeats. So I'll show you. Okay, give me a second. So it was there. So it should be 0. So again, if I'll run it, you'll see that it goes step 1, step 2, step 3, and then it goes into the chase. So step 2, 3, 4, and then it goes back to step 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, and then it goes back and it will be in continuous loop. And the problem is, for you to come out, you see, you'll be pressing go, you can't come out because it's in a continuous loop. So basically then you'll have to manually force it to go out to the next step. But we again don't want to do it, and we can't do it. So what we need to do is then we need to tell it, yeah, fine, run the chase inside, but I want you to run it only X amount of times. Let's say I want to run it only twice. For this, as per previous video I was referring to, if you triple click on your CueStack and go to the chase options, you see here it says number of repeats and it says 0. I press 2. Now if I run my CueStack, I press go, you will be able to see that it runs 1, 2, 3, this is step number 7, again 4, 5, 6, 7. And then it stops and waits. We are perfect. We're almost there. So what I need to do is a last step. I want when the chase finishes running it twice, I want it to automatically go to the next step, so it will take you out of the loop. So come here and says you just change hold no yes to no. So now if I put the fader down and raise it up again, look what's going to happen. It will run step 4, 5, 6, 7. It will go to the second repeat. And after that, it automatically goes to the step number 8. There you go. So it is waiting for you to continue pressing go. You can do it several times within CueStack. So you can have several chases within CueStack, but you can only once set how many times you want to do the repeats. So if I'll do another chase inside of the CueStack, it will do the repeats twice again. So even if you have 10 of the chases inside of the CueStack, they will only repeat as many times as you've set them in your options. So if you set it as 2, it will run 2. If you set 3, it will run 3. If that method is not really right thing for you, and you would like it to be, you want to load the chase along with one of the steps in the CueStack, and at some point when you move from this step you want the chase to be switched off, then you can use another option which is called CueStack macros. So how to do them? So if I'll change this back to Cue, so I selected and press enter, change it back. In order to fix this, you see it's a next queue time, so if you want to see again the word next, you actually just need to specify the correct number of the next step. So the next step is going to be 8, so if I press 8 enter, it goes back to next. So then if I go back here now, I have again CueStack. So you can see here it will wait for me, so step 1, step 2, etc, etc. So if I would like to run, when I go to the step number 2, if I would like to run the chase, say playback number 2, and then when I go to the playback number 3, I want the chase to stop. To do this, you have to, as I said, use the CueStack macros. So move to the right side of that screen, and you're going to see the option called macro. So how to use them? Go into the manual. I know a lot of you probably hate looking at the manual, looking at the amount of the repeating questions we have in the group, but nevertheless, so if you open the MagicQ manual, so basically if you have a Mac, just come here and type magicq.pdf, it will find it for you, and then you can just type here in the search CueStack macros, and one of the options here will actually find it for you. And you've got some of the macros here. Again, don't feel intimidated that it is really hard. In reality, everything here just quickly explained what it does. So it's gonna say, for example, the one I want to do is I want to switch on the chase. I want it to run. In the next step, when I go in, I want the chase to be switched off. That's all I want. So to do this, you have, for example, the option here that says activate playback at 100%. This is exactly as if you would raise the fader up for the chase. And then you have a next option that says release playback at 0 with 0%. That means put the fader down, and the button and the letter is U and the number of playback. Again, how it works. So, in order for me to activate, say, playback number 2 from this page, I will go here in the macro window. You can double click it, or you press set and click here if you have a physical console, and you have to specify a letter. Let's say, for example, T is to test or activate playback, and I put the number 2. Press return. And now in the next step, if I want to kill it at 0, like as I would if I put the fader down, it's going to be you can double click, say U2 and enter. So now look what's going to happen. So you run the CueStack, step number 1. Now as soon as you press step number 2, it activates the chase on the playback number 2. See, it's running in the background. So as soon, because I put the amount of repeats there. So if I didn't put the amount of repeats, 0. Let me just kill it and I'll show it to you again. So I'll go back to my CueStack. Then I press go. It activates the macro T2, which is the activate playback number 2, and you can see it's all in a full loop mode. And as soon as you're happy to go to the next step, you press the button and the next step loaded and your chase is gone. So as you can see, the command T and then the playback number means activated at 100%, and then U2 means what does it say here? It says, release playback at 0. So there are different other options. So if you want to activate any particular cue from, say, a Cue store, for this there are some other options that's available here. Maybe I might do a separate video tutorial about the CueStack macros, but basically don't feel intimidated. It's really simple. All you do is you have to put in the correct letter and the correct number. So if it says a playback, that means it's a playback on the same page, not on a different page, but on the same page. If you want to specify a cue from a particular from the Cue store, then you can actually look into the options here, and for example, you can say this is from the Stack store. Activate CueStack from Stack store. What it means is if you say E, and then if you want to activate a CueStack, let's say that is on the separate page, you can always look at the CueStack store, Stack store, and you'll find it here that there is another CueStack, for example, that's called Beam Static. Yeah, you can see CS10. So then you will be able to actually come here and say E and then, apologies, E and then number, it's a 10, this one. So what I would do is I would go here and I say E10, and if I will reactivate it again, 1, 2, and if I go to the next one, see, it activates the CueStack 10 from the CueStack store, and so it doesn't touch anything here on that page. You actually trigger stuff from your virtual space. Again, hope it was useful. Again, you can choose either of the methods. If you want to delete it, double click it, press blank enter. Again, blank enter, blank enter. And if you want to learn more about CueStack store, again, go in the manual, type in CueStack store, it will bring you the right page and you can work from there. Okay, cool. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you liked it. Sign up, subscribe under our channel, YouTube channel called Chamsys Rus, and also Chamsys official channel. And as soon as the new tutorials coming out, you will be notified about this. Thank you very much, and have a good day. Bye bye.